Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here then, hi! This is part of a collab. It's for the All Aboard Express. I don't know if I've just said that right. Anyway, I've had an absolute mare trying to get this video sorted. My software would not work, so there is lots of pieces missing. As in, you can see I've made a lantern and some nails. And I thought I'd just show you how I made the nail point. Simple as that. Just faffed with the end a little bit to make it pointy. So these are going to represent the witch's hand. I did burn them. I put them way too close to the element in the oven. So yes, I'm back to burning stuff again. Great. I also made these little pots on Tuesday's video. Yes, it was no, it was Thursdays. I don't even know what day I'm on. Anyway, like I said, I had a mare with this video, so you'll have to excuse the fact that there's quite a few pieces missing where I'm supposed to have made things and you just see them already done. And to be quite honest, it's probably a wise thing, because this one took me hours, and I mean hours. There's so many little bits and bobs to it. I picked some dried grass from outside, some weeds to dry in my little oven. I've had an absolute ball making this, and this is all to do with the Wizard of Oz. Now, I chose the witch, the Wicked Witch of the West, because I wanted to do an alternate story to her and to Dorothy, basically. I wanted to make a dark side of Dorothy and make the witch someone that was very misunderstood. Now, you're probably thinking that's Wicked. I've never seen Wicked, so I couldn't tell you if the story's like that at all. It's just something that popped into my head, and I thought, yeah, we'll run with that. So I am going to be telling you the story a little bit further down the line, so stick around. Just listen to my waffle for a little bit longer first, and then you'll get to the story. Now, this is one of those mini makes, I don't know, something with toys inside. But, you know, like home toys, like plants and foodstuffs that you can make up. And I have got an absolute ton of these things. And they've just been sat in my treasure box, trying to not say that word, where I chuck all my rubbish, basically, that I don't want to throw away because it could come in handy. You know, one of those boxes. I have about 5 or 6 of them. You know those calyx units? Yeah. I have 2, one on top of the other, and there's at least 3 full of plastic stuff. There's at least 3 full of cardboard, and yeah, there's a lot of trash, basically. But it all comes in handy. I mean, that piece of foam. This is to say thank you to my members and my subscribers, new and old, and thank you to those who watch all the way to the end, because that is what we need. So anyone telling you to fast forward, please ignore them. That's not what we need. And it's usually the big channels that say that, you know, because they don't need that, because they're getting loads rolling in. We don't. Those little channels don't get that. We have to get what we can. And to be fair, it's free. So, you know, even if you don't want to sit there and listen to me waffle, or make a cup of tea, just leave me running. After me waffling on again about viewing, I put 2 pieces of plasticine. It's not plasticine. It be polymer clay. There we go. Into a mould. It's a chocolate mould. And I thought, I want this to be solid. So I put some not chopsticks. There's that word again. Toothpicks. There we go. Toothpicks inside to make it more sturdy, and gave it a little twist just because, well, it made it look a bit kooky. So yeah, I like the twist. And I'm painting it black, and I'm going to make it glow. I'm going to paint some glow with the nice paints that Paula sent me. I think they're brilliant. I need to take a photo. I must remember, before I finish this video, I need to take a photo of it in the dark. Oh, I'm such a wally. I really am. See, usually I do my voiceover last, so then I know I'm done. But I forgot to take the photo of it in the dark, where it glows. Such a fairy. But anyway, you're going to have to stick around to end anyway, because there's a little surprise at the end that you don't see me make or paint, because I wanted it to be a surprise. Yeah, just a surprise. It's cute. Well, I think it is. It's a bit derpy looking, but it's cute. And oh my god, it took me ages to paint it because I couldn't see it properly. It's small. And you know what? I do actually have a magnifying glass now with a light on. Did I think to use it? Did I heck? So I'm painting everything black, and I'm gonna paint over everything again with different colours to give it a good shade and bit of detail. Now the nails, I do actually put a little bit of resin on the top just to give them that, bit of pizzazz, bit of shine. And what they will be doing is sitting around that foam, and the foam's going to be the table basically. So yeah, and I've already put my globe together, not my globe, crystal ball. There we go. Yes, crystal ball, and that will be flat on the table too, with a nice little table set. And I'm going to use my UV light and my UV resin to create those. There's going to be a little hat. There's going to be some stars, but the whole thing is going to be green. The whole thing's going to be tied in with green because it's the Wicked Witch of the West, and well, she's green. It's that simple. But I'm going to fill each pot with some dried leaves for herbs, and I'm going to make a little fire. Although looking at it now, I'm thinking that's way too close to the cupboard, the shelving. So that don't really work. But it's just for decoration. I also make a little cookbook and a little tea set and a little broom. I really did enjoy making this. I'm looking at it now thinking, that's cute. That's really cute. Yeah. Next time though I make a lantern, I think I'm going to drill a hole in it. Or put lights through it before... Oh no, you can't do that because if you bake it, that's going to make it melt. I'll think of something to get it to light up anyway. I mean, well, it's going to glow. So I get away with it this time. Hopefully. But the story is going to come up. So have a good listen and tell me what you think. Is it too dark? I don't know. I like it. I am a bit dark and twisted. It's also got kind of a moral to it. Like, don't always believe those that are nice. Because not all nice people are honest. Sorry, all those that pretend to be nice are honest. Anyhow, enjoy the story. The Witch of the Green Kitchen They called her wicked. The word passed from mouth to mouth like smoke on the wind. None of those who spoke it, though, had ever stood in her doorway, nor tasted her cooking, nor seen the soft glow of her green-painted walls. They did not know her laughter, nor her grief. They only knew the stories they'd told one another, each tale darker than the last, until her name became a warning for children. But the truth was much quieter. She lived in a house of stone and timber, tucked into a valley where moss grew thick, and the trees leaned close together as if to shield her. And at the heart of that house, the heart of her life, was a kitchen, painted entirely of shades of green. The shutters were ivy dark, the cupboards the bright green of spring roots, the walls the colour of moss after a rain. To her, green meant life, the life of leaves, of herbs, of gardens that never betrayed her. Every surface was alive with her work. Herbs hung drying in bunches from the rafters, their scents weaving together into a wild perfume. Jars lined the shelves, powders, seeds, dried petals, and roots ground into dust. Copper pots gleamed dully by the stove, each seasoned by years of stews and broths, and always there was this sound of some small bubbling, some quiet simmer that filled the air with warmth. Here she was content. Here she measured and stirred, chopped and tasted, her hands steady, her mind calm. She cooked as others prayed, not for hunger, but for peace. Her only companion was a small winged monkey. He perched on the rafters on the edge of the table, sometimes curling up by the stove to nap in the heat. He did not speak, yet his eyes held a brightness that felt like understanding. He followed her with quiet devotion, chattering softly when she set food before him, pressing tiny hands to her wrist when grief shadowed her face. He was her only friend, the only one left. For once there'd been 2 women in that kitchen. The memory came to her often, no matter how she tried to bar the door of her mind against it. 2 women standing shoulder to shoulder, sleeves rolled, laughing as they argued over how much salt to use. 2 women filling jars together, teasing one another's mistakes, their laughter ringing like bells. Her sister had been the light where the shadow was her. She had been the voice that drew warmth into the house, the smile that softened silence, and because love demands shape, the witch had made for her the slippers, red as embers, stitched with threads of protection, carrying within them charms for warmth, for guidance, for safety. A gift from one sister to another, a promise no matter how far the steps wandered, they would always return her home. Her sister had laughed when she slid them on, spinning in the green kitchen so the light caught their ruby shine. And then that's when the sky fell. That day, the air, it felt strange. The wind carried a charge, the clouds rose like black towers. The monkey had clung close to her shoulder, uneasy. She had been slicing roots when the sound came. Not thunder, not a storm, but a roar that split the sky apart. She ran outside, the earth trembling beneath her, and she saw ruin. A house had fallen from the clouds, a whole house. Dropped as though the heavens are tired of holding it, it lay smashed upon the earth, beams splintered, smoke curling from the wreckage, and beneath it lay her sister. Silence. No breath, no cry, no heartbeat. The witch screamed. The sound tore her throat raw. She clawed at the broken beams, heedless of splinters, but it was too late. Her sister had gone. From the ruin stumbled a girl. A child, really. No more than a teenager. Her dress torn, her eyes wide with confusion. She looked bewildered, frightened, and yet she stood while the witch's sister lay broken. The villagers gathered. They did not mourn. They cheered. They clapped and cried out as though this was a blessing. And when their eyes fell upon the slippers, the ruby slippers upon her sister's still feet, they pulled them free and pressed them into the girl's hands. The witch staggered forward, her voice a broken plea, but no one listened. They called the girl chosen. They called her blessed. They urged her to put them on, and she did, sliding her feet into another woman's gift, another woman's love, as though they were hers by right. That's when the witch saw red. Not the shine of the slippers, but the heat of grief turned to fury. For in that moment she understood what humans were. Careless, thoughtless, cruel in their indifference. They had stolen the last piece of her sister before her eyes and gave it to a stranger. She returned to her kitchen. Her hand shook as she tried to grind herbs. The pestle slipped, scattering across the table. She tried to stir a pot, but the smell turned her stomach. She sat in silence, head bowed, until she felt the monkey press against her arm, his small fingers clinging. He did not speak, but he did not leave her. In the days that followed, she turned to the crystal ball that stood upon her table. In its shifting glow, she watched the world she no longer belonged to. She saw villagers return to their lives, never sparing a thought for the sister beneath the beams. She saw families gathered around hearths, children dancing, markets swell with laughter. She longed for it, though she would never admit it. Longed for a place at such a table, a voice in such a crowd. Most of all, she watched the girl. Dorothy, they called her. She walked the yellow roads in the stolen slippers, and she gathered companions as she went. A straw man with a painted smile, a figure of tin with a hollow chest, a lion whose roar shook through his heart, and it trembled. They loved her. They shielded her. She, who had taken everything from the witch, walked the world wrapped in friendship. And the wizard, that fraud of smoke and lies, he guided her. He who had no power but deception, clothed himself in grandeur and thunder, and the people believed it. He offered her counsel, aid, protection, while the witch's grief went unseen. He raised the girl high. So the witch brewed. Not meals, not stews, but draughts of vengeance. Into her cauldron she cast nettles for pain, bitter roots for betrayal, ash for grief. She whispered her plans into the monkey's ears, her voice shaking with rage. He clung to her shoulder, eyes wide, listening as though he understood every word. She sent storms to tear the road before Dorothy. She sent shadows to twist the trees, illusions to stalk her steps. She filled the nights with whispers, hoping to break the girl's laughter into fear. But fate mocked her. Always the girl escaped. The slippers glowed with stolen magic, carrying her away from harm. Her companions shielded her with loyalty, and the wizard's deceptions guided her path. Once the witch came so near she could see the dust of the road on the girl's cloak, smell the sweat of her fear. She reached and the slippers flared, blinding her, carrying the girl beyond her grasp. Exhaustion came. Her grief was a weight she could no longer lift. She returned to her green kitchen, her monkey curling close, and she let the crystal ball grow dim. She swept the hearth, rehung the herbs, dusted the shelves. She set a pot upon the fire, and for the first time in many weeks, she cooked. The first meals were bitter, the bread heavy, the broth oversalted, her tears falling into the pot. Yet slowly the flavours returned, garlic sizzling in oil, rosemary steeping in broth, bread rising golden in the oven. The monkey chattered as he stole crumbs, and she found herself almost smiling. The world still called her wicked. They told stories of her cruelty, of her schemes, but the world did not know her. They did not know the slippers were born of love. They did not know the laughter once shared in a green kitchen. They did not know that all she wanted was peace and a place to belong. So she let them speak. She stirred her pot. Her monkey perched nearby and let the world believe its lies. For she had chosen solitude, and in solitude she found her truth. She would always grieve her sister. That emptiness would never fade. But she had her green kitchen. She had her herbs, her meals, her monkey. They called her wicked, but she was not. She was broken-hearted, and sometimes that is enough to be misunderstood forever. So what did you think? Is it a bit too dark for something that's supposed to be a kid's film? I mean, the witch did get squashed by a house, so you can't hardly blame her for being so angry. I mean, I think I would. I gilded some of this off with this gold, and I do put a bit of green on, just to give it that, well, just to tie it all in. I started off with, I've got the herbs on the back, and I put the goo in the pots on the floor to represent what she started doing after she got vengeful. And also the cookbook to show that she was just, into her food. Aren't we all? I mean, every conversation we seem to have on here is about food. What's for dinner? What are you having for dinner? Ice cream. I want ice cream. That looks like this. That looks like that. We're all food orientated. Jeez, it's terrible. So yeah, she's definitely a foodie. She likes to make her own recipes and stuff like that, so I thought that would work nice. It really is missing a cauldron. Maybe I could make another piece to add to it. I quite like it. It's quite cute. I like anything small. I'm terrible for things that are small. I buy toys just because they're small. I really need to stop doing that. I mean, it's crackers. Anyway, if you like it, please give me a thumbs up. Comment. Tell me what you'd like me to make next. I'm all ears. I am starting to do the Saturday ones I put a post out to ask what people's ideas were. And when it's not collab Saturdays, then I'm going to be doing those. And I'm going to make a story for them. So watch this space. Because there's some really blooming good ideas. And some really twisted ones I quite like. So you're all as twisted as I am. I love it. This is, I made a hat because, well, she needed to have a hat. She's a witch after all, and if she's got a broomstick, she needs a hat. And I was going to make it freestanding so I can move it around, but then I thought, no, I'm going to stick it on top of the globe. No, crystal ball, there we go. Because she covered it in the story, so yeah, it stopped glowing. And something's going to be sat on top of the actual shelving, and I thought it was quite cute. That's the surprise. You won't see that till the end. So yeah, definitely watch till the end. It took me ages. It's not perfect. It's not even fantastic. It's just cute. I enjoyed doing it. But I absolutely love them fingers holding that stone table. I mean, it's not a stone table, it's foam, but it looks stone. I like it. It worked. I really do like making miniatures. Just so peaceful, so calming. It's just wonderful. And I want to do some more. I mean, I have things in my head that really need coming out and doing. I've got so many ideas, it's ridiculous, and not enough time. If I did a video for every day of the year, I'd still not empty my brain. I really wouldn't. It's a mess up there. But anyway, I'm going to say anyway again, because that's about the 6 millionth time. Really appreciate you watching. Please give me a thumbs up, like, comment. See? And I shall see you all in the next one. Take a look at the photos, and I shall see you next time. Bye bye!